The Donald Trump cabinet confirmation hearing Gong show has begun. I've been watching this morning some of the Jeff Sessions Attorney General confirmation hearings. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts was calling for no confirmation hearings until the ethics issues that were outstanding with a number of Trump picks were resolved. Obviously, that didn't happen. You'd probably need about a decade to resolve those ethics issues, and we didn't have a decade, and of course, Republicans didn't care. So let's take a look at the schedule of hearings as we know it now. For today, we have been having, will have had by tomorrow. Jeff Sessions for Attorney General, John Kelly, Department of Homeland Security. Tomorrow, we've got Rex Tillerson, Elaine Chao, and Mike Pompeo scheduled. Betsy DeVos, the Education Secretary, had been scheduled for tomorrow, but that's been moved to January 17th. On the 12th, we will hear from James Mattis, Wilbur Ross, and Ben Carson. That seems to me like it'll be the funniest day, mostly because of Ben Carson, but also because of some of those other names. And Tom Price, tentatively scheduled for the 18th, many not yet scheduled. So some of the things I was looking at least with Jeff Sessions today, and we'll have some highlights and clips for you tomorrow, into how much detail will the inquiring minds of the senators on the panel go about Jeff Sessions' racist past actually failing to be confirmed as a judge some decades ago, and alleged comments that, if true, were incredibly racist in nature, part of that lack of confirmation. Also, what about voting rights, civil and voting rights issues? How much of a factor would those be? I mean, he's been asked about this stuff, but it's all been sort of everybody handling it kind of like we're just here for fun. This is just a rubber stamp. It's basically business as usual in the Senate.
Well, usually when there's a confirmation hearing for a sitting senator, it's just kind of formality.
Yeah.
But given his record on civil rights, voting rights, gay rights, I wouldn't be surprised if the Democrats didn't let him slide so much.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Pat Leahy, and he asked some questions that could be considered adversarial, but then just a simple answer from Jeff Sessions like, I will enforce the law. Oh, okay. And then Leahy just moving on. Republicans, of course, mostly talking about what a great guy he is and introducing into the record all of these letters. When you hear, Rachel, that, oh, I'd like to add to the record the glowing recommendation of some Republican assistant attorney general in Louisiana, do you say, oh, wow, I really need to reconsider my views about Jeff Sessions because some deputy attorney general in Louisiana thinks he's a really nice guy?
Well, that doesn't change my mind at all. I guess the larger issue I have here, and I feel like this is kind of commonplace with everyone that Trump's hired, is this kind of gross oversight that's basically just institutionalized. I'm not going to say it's institutionalized idiocracy, but just this oversight is saying, okay, we're going to give these lofty promotions to unqualified individuals because we're more concerned with giving these promotions than the American people.
Well, that's the entire Trump presidency. I mean, when Trump is the president and all of a sudden media starts doing an analysis of cabinet picks, you're basically saying we're going to pretend like there's anything remotely normal about Donald Trump becoming president of the United States and deciding who is the top attorney in the country, Jeff Sessions, or who is the top intelligence person. By even talking, and I feel like we have no choice but to, in a way, be victims of this, by even talking about the confirmation hearings, we're buying into the idiocracy that is Donald Trump gets to choose who is in the cabinet.
Well, especially because there's at least 2 or 3 cabinet picks who are just philosophically opposed to the agencies that they've been chosen to run. Ben Carson and Rick Perry among them.
Ben Carson more out of ignorance. He just doesn't know anything about housing and urban development. We'll get to that. Some right-wingers, no doubt. I haven't read any right-wing opinion about the Jeff Sessions confirmation hearings yet, but there's no doubt that some right-wingers will say, asking Jeff Sessions about his allegedly racist comments proves that Democrats are actually racist for noticing that some of the things he said might appear to be racist. There's this reverse thing which goes on, and I'm not talking about reverse racism, which it's either racism or it's not. It's if you see racism, you're actually the racist because you've noticed that race is relevant to someone. Republicans love that stuff. I mean, that buys into the pseudo we're against political correctness stuff that Trump has parroted. I think that that's just the most bogus argument, Rachel. If you see racism, you're actually racist.
I mean, yeah, that's a completely bogus argument, but the way that he's trying to get around that is omitting all of the documentation and information from when he was Attorney General and Senator of Alabama.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham not asking for 10 letters about Sessions' racism to be added to the record. I'm also interested to see what happens with Ben Carson. Like, for example, does he show up even remotely prepared to answer a question about what his job will be? I'm curious to see that, because motivational speaker and neurosurgeon Ben Carson running housing and urban development, again, with the only connection we were able to draw was Trump associates black people with cities, and Carson's black and from Detroit. So I guess maybe Trump thinks, oh, housing and urban development makes sense. But beyond that, we've not been able to figure out, Pat, unless you have, what the connection is between Carson's expertise or lack thereof and this cabinet position.
Yeah, he has absolutely no qualifications to be put up for such an important position to run housing and urban development. And if you look at some of the other picks, I mean, Rick Perry for Secretary of Energy,
Right.
will he have another oops moment during his confirmation hearing?
Imagine if he forgets to remember that he wanted the Department of Energy eliminated and then is shocked at it being asked about that by a Democrat. I look forward to that. The funniest and saddest and scariest part is that they're all going to get confirmed and will start destroying the United States. We have a crisis of cronyism, which will have an impact if we don't stop it. And watching the confirmation hearings is going to be watching someone with a fire hose filling the swamp. That's what it is when I watch the confirmation hearings. Thanks for watching this video. Before you watch the next one, remember, we're raising money to expand the David Pakman Show Big League, as well as expand progressive activism. Go to davidpakman.com/donate. Donations of any size are much appreciated.